Inside and outside the ring, the figure of Iron Mike commands respect. The champion, who can knock you out with just a glance, has been underestimated, humiliated, and disrespected solely through the power of words, and never face to face. But in his history, there are two significant moments where he silenced his detractors with a powerful punch. Stay until the end to find out why Tyson Biggs and Peter McNeely should never have underestimated Iron Mike. Tyson and Biggs have a history of rivalry dating back to the 1980s when they were both amateurs. At that time, Biggs had enormous expectations. Experts and many fans believed he was the perfect fit for the role of the new Muhammad Ali. Not only was he 196 centimeters tall, but he was also quick, agile, and undefeated. On the other hand, Tyson was taking his first steps as an amateur. While he wasn't phenomenally gifted in terms of physical dimensions, he possessed brutal strength that allowed him to defeat taller opponents. Thanks to his training, he turned his weaknesses into strengths. Although Iron Mike himself claimed that being shorter made it harder for taller fighters to hit him, few believed in him. The conflict between Tyrell and Mike began when the decision was made about who would represent the United States in the 1984 Olympics. Biggs was chosen, and Tyson's dreams of standing on the Olympic podium were crushed. Although Tyrell didn't make the decision, he was the one who hammered the hatred into Tyson's mind when he criticized him in 1984. Tyson had intended to wish the U.S. boxing team good luck, and Tyrell, with a laugh, said, "I don't know who he is, but he's definitely not getting on the plane," implying that Mike had not been selected. A few simple words cut deep into Tyson's heart, creating a desire for revenge for the insult directed at him. And, sometime later, he had his chance. Biggs won an Olympic medal and then turned professional, a field that Tyson already controlled with growing dominance. The world was astonished by Iron Mike's uncontrollable fury in destroying his opponents one after another, which made him the youngest heavyweight champion in history. With a couple more titles, boxing analysts began to wonder who could put an end to Tyson's knockout streak. But, unlike Mike, Tyrell couldn't easily adapt his amateur style to the professional arena. It took Biggs some time to change his fighting style until he could adopt a more professional approach. When he did, he also became a dangerous puncher, feared by many. Thus, the paths of the former national team teammates would cross at some point, which happened in November 1987. Biggs decided to revive the past by criticizing Tyson in the press before the fight. Among his statements was the phrase, "He's never fought anyone like me. I don't know this Tyson they talk about. I've known him for some time." He also noted that Mike was strong, but his strength wouldn't harm him. Tyrell was confident that his mobility and boxing skills would nullify any opponent's strength, ironically wondering what Tyson would do when that moment arrived. Tyson didn't stoop to using words to discredit Biggs, but that night, Mike's gaze spoke volumes. It was clear that Tyrell was in for a severe beating for having a loose tongue all these years. When the bell rang to open the first round, it seemed like the environment favored Biggs. Not only did he move around the ring with great ease, but he also successfully delivered jabs. Despite Tyson's efforts, he wasn't causing any harm to his opponent.
Out of Tyrell Biggs, good lateral movement. The hand speed of Mike Tyson is very good. You throw the jab like he's doing now, not to let Tyson set.
By the second round, Tyson's punches started landing on Biggs' upper body. It was obvious that he had been studying him and had found a pattern that allowed him to attack more actively.
Neutralize the jab.
See, Biggs was doing great in the first 2 minutes of the.
It was in this same second round that Biggs received a hard left hook from Iron Mike, which caused a gradual decline in his fighting pace.
And the way that Biggs is moving, Tyrell Biggs. And the right hand does most damage.
There was a big right hand, best punch of the fight.
That was the left hook, Barry. That was the left hook I was talking about. Now.
By the third round, Tyson's powerful punches made Biggs almost abandon his strategy. Tyrell suffered a cut around his right eye, thanks to a left hook from Mike.
Let me show you what Tyson does when he delivers that left hook.
10.
Mientras la sangre le colaba al ojo a Biggs.
As blood flowed into Biggs' eye, it was clear that Tyson was gaining more strength. By the end of the fourth round, everyone could see that the great Olympic fighter was in a corner with no way out.
Tyson steps in.
And a combination by
The great Iron Mike methodically destroyed the Olympic champion, and it can be said that he enjoyed every second in the ring. If not, you just have to look at rounds 5 and 6, where he attacked Biggs with consecutive right hooks.
That was a tremendous left hand.
With fans wondering when the end of this fateful confrontation would come, we reached the 7th round. When, 30 seconds away from ending it, Tyson hit Biggs with a left hook that not only sent him straight to the canvas, but almost out of the ring. The referee's count reached 9 when, surprisingly, Biggs responded and got up, only for Tyson to attack as soon as the fight resumed and knock him down once again with a powerful left hook. The referee had no choice but to stop the fight, awarding Tyson the victory by technical knockout. If there was one thing that characterized Iron Mike at that time, it was his humility. After every fight, he was always willing to lend a hand to his opponents to help them up or give them compliments. However, in the case of Tyrell Biggs, he openly mocked him in front of the public. What was the reason for this action? The same offense he suffered in 1984. For Biggs, being defeated was devastating. After that fight, his career plummeted and ended in 1998. One would think that Tyson's future opponents would learn not to mock the beast that was Iron Mike in the ring, but Peter McNeely believed that Tyson's tumultuous life had weakened him. It was August 1995, and Tyson had just been released from prison for rape. The fight promoted as he's back was an event that questioned whether he still had his boxing skills or had lost them during his time behind bars. Although McNeely was a tough boxer, his technique was lacking. However, up to that point, he had managed to compensate for that weakness with brute strength. For him, the fight against Tyson was an opportunity to show the world what he was worth. After 3 years in prison, he thought he would have it easier. The big night arrived, and among the 16,000 spectators were celebrities like Bruce Willis, Will Smith, Pamela Anderson, Denzel Washington, and Madonna. Before the fight began, they stared at each other, waiting for the referee to finish giving them instructions. Anyone who remembered Tyson knew that he could knock you out with just a glance. However, he kept smiling and moving his head from side to side. The first bell rang, and McNeely went straight at Tyson. It was a surprise to everyone, but the excitement didn't last long.
Seconds into the fight, McNeely on the canvas.
At 89 seconds into this first round, when Peter hadn't even suffered serious damage, his trainer, Vinny Vecchione, jumped into the ring and called for the fight to be stopped. Both the audience and the press were furious. They had come to see blood, and some had hoped to see Tyson lying on the canvas. But it was evident that the beast Iron Mike was still feared in the ring. For Peter, this fight was a disaster, and to this day, it remains the subject of jokes. All the bravery he showed outside the ring, mocking the situation and presenting himself as the favored one due to Tyson's condition, vanished with the first punch. His trainer may have saved him from being massacred, but he condemned his career to always be ridiculed. Without a doubt, the moral of this story is he who mocks Tyson is defeated. Time and time again, Iron Mike has shown that words mean nothing once you're in the ring, and he has preferred to remain silent and prove himself rather than talk and bury himself. Do you think Peter McNeely ever had a chance to beat Tyson, or did his trainer make the right decision to stop the fight before he suffered significant damage? What other fighter who mocked Tyson outside the ring came to mind while watching the video? We look forward to reading your comments.